We can further picture the idea that you have to have two concepts of flows. It's like the concept of thought and speech. That you cannot speak without first having it in thought. Therefore, you have to first have the flow in a concept of thought. That's still the revelation in and between yourself. And afterwards, from your thought, it flows to your speech. So in order to reveal it to someone else. And look what's brought about this. Likutei Torah and the Osafos, to understand the idea that's brought in Otzrus Chaim of the first Tzimtzum, in this marshal that it brings there of Machshava and Dibur. V'zeu karov linyan yam va'aretz, and this is similar to the idea that we brought before of the sea and the land, kikeina Machshava nikra alma diskasya, because the thought is also called the hidden world, chulu yesh l'tzayir bezam shachos al derech hagilu iman nefesh, and we can further compare these two flows to the revelation from the soul, that first you have the general life force revealed in the head. And then from the head divides and flows to all the other limbs. Now the speech receives from the emotions, just like the lower hay receives from the vav of Hashem's name, and the thought receives from the intellect. So just like we brought before of the machshava and dibur, so too you have the idea of seichel and midos, giving to these two ideas of machshava and dibur, I guess midos giving to the dibur. Just like the higher hay receives from the yud itself without the vav, that's like machshava receiving from seichel. And so instead of comparing hay to bina, we compare hay to machshava, it receives from, it's the misharas haseichel, it receives from the chokhmah. If we're saying that the higher hay is machshava and dibur, and that mashal. And similarly, you can understand the two ideas of Gan Eden, Hainu Gan Eden Ha'elyon, that the higher Garden of Eden, Zewal Derech Yud Kei Bina, that's like the idea of Yud Kei of Hashem's name. You have Bina Rechovos Nahar, the breadth of the river, Biyud Nivra Ha'olam Haba, that with the Yud was created the world to come. The higher hay, V'gan Eden Atachtun Al Derech Hei Tatash Mekabelas Ma'avav Chulu, and the lower Garden of Eden is like the lower hay that receives from the Vav of Hashem's name, and so forth. V'gam Ken Yuvenzel Derech Kikel Deus, and similarly, another way to compare these two ideas of Hamshacha is like it says that Hashem is a divinity of two opinions, or two viewpoints, Yesh Beis B'chinas Das, that there's two concepts of knowledge of Hashem. Ha'alef Das Elyon, the first is the higher knowledge, Agilu Kemoshe Kamei Kolo Chashiv, the first is the revelation as it is in front of him, everything is not considered, Va'beis Das Tachton, and the second level is the lower knowledge, Hadas B'chinas Malchuso Yizbarechu Bitul Hayesh Chulu, that's the viewpoint of Hashem's kingship, may be blessed, and the nullification of the existence as it is in a nullified state, but it exists. V'zeu atzmo inyan Gan Eden Ha'elyon, and that itself is the concept of the higher Garden of Eden, Shbo Meir Das Elyon, that in it shines this higher perspective, Gan Eden Ha'tachton, Shbo Meir Das Tachton Chulu, and in the lower Garden of Eden that shines the lower perspective. V'nei inyan v'nar Yecharav, Bebayis Rishon, now the idea of the river being desolate in the first temple, Zewal Derech Nishba Shelo Yikanis B'Yerushalayim Shel Mayla Chulu, that's like when Hashem swore, the idea of Hashem swearing that he will not go into the higher Yerushalayim, so it's desolate from him. Al Valzen Emar Bacho Sivkeh, And on this it says, you will cry a double cry, and through this, with tears you will come. That that's a crying of joy. It's the opposite of tears of sadness. Fine, Mashakasu b'dibara maskil v'kibel ha'yehudim v'besuf dibara maskil v'kacha b'mina b'biyado mincha. V'ayin b'medrash Rabba Parshas Vayigash Suf Parshat Tzadik Gimel shezeu kemo shekasu v'yitenis kol b'bechichulu. This is like it says in Parshas Vayigash that he brought up his voice in tears. And this is that I will flip their mourning to joy. Sivkeh will flip to be tears that come from the great joy. V'ayin b'yalkut b'yirmiyah siman alaf taf nun tesamad al derech remez reish nun tes al manat shevo aryeh b'mazel aryeh v'yivne Ariel, that it brings in Yalkut Yirmiyah that a lion will come in the mazel of the lion and will build the temple called Ariel. Yavo Aryeh, who's the lion that's going to come? Zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's the Holy One, blessed be He, K'dechsiv be Aryeh sha'ag mi lo yirah. Like it says, a lion roars, who does not fear b'mazel Aryeh. What does it mean? In the mazel of Aryeh, hainu b'chodesh shachamishi, that is in the 5th month, meaning of Fachti Avlam l'sason, and I will flip their mourning to joy, v'yivne Ariel, and we'll build the lion, the temple, chulu, v'ayin minyan Aryeh b'medrash Rabba Parshas Yisro, the Parsha Chavtes, al pasuk Anochi Avayelokecha. Look what's brought in Parshas Yisro by Matan Torah, then where it says, I am Hashem your Elokah. Aryeh sha'ag chulu, it's compared to a lion roaring. Saying Anochi Avayelokecha is like the lion roaring. I guess like a person calling out Shema Yisrael. Avayelokeinu Avayechad, the lion roaring. B'meori or Aleph Kuf Aleph Aryeh mitzad chesed. The Meori or brings that a line is from the side of kindness. Shem Av yesh boreshit vavos yoschulu. That Shem Av has 216 letters. Gematria Aryeh. So Av Gematria Chesed. B'yar Nesiv Hevi Mahazor Chile Gimel Va'eschanan Dafayin Reish Amud Aleph Vailaman Diaz Izdamin Kadis Ba'aryeh Rav Raval Ischabra Lenuk V'chulu. That it says there in Va'eschanan in Zohar, woe is to the person who is there when the lion, the great lion, wants to unite with his feminine, with his female, with the lioness. Chulu al hahi shai teksiv. On that time it says, Aryeh sha'ag milo yirah chulu, the lion's roaring who will not fear. Kad yifog lekabla lebazugo chulu ad kanashono, when he's not able to, his heart is like yifog libo, I guess, when he's not able to unite with, or when he wants to unite with his mate. It's the end of the quote from the Zohar Kadosh. Od sham b'meori or, and further there in the meori or b'chinas Aryeh b'lu'uma zeh klippa shekeneged keser. And the other side, the lion is the klippa that corresponds, that's against keser. Like it says, mipnei kfir michidasi, I guess. Where the Alter Rebbe brings in the Torah that in the concept of yichida, he needs saving from the klippa, even though we say le'simala b'hayatika, that's only in the pnimius, as he brings there. And that's why Nebuchadnezzar, who's the head of gold in his dream, he's called the lion. Like it says that the lion came up in the mazel Aryeh and destroyed the Ariel. So it's the klippa connected the idea that we brought before of the Yavu Aryeh b'Mazal Aryeh v'Yivne Aryeh. So you have the Aryeh of Nebuchadnezzar, Klippa Keneged Keser. They came up into the Mazal Aryeh of and destroyed the Aryeh of the Beis HaMikdash. Allah Aryeh ben Subecho b'Mazal Aryeh, and then you have the pasuk that the lion came up from his brambles b'Mazal Aryeh, in the Mazal of the Aryeh in the time of Ad Galos Yerushalayim b'Chodesh HaChamishi, like it says that till the exile of Yerushalayim in the 5th month, V'echriv Ariel, and he destroyed the Ariel. Hoy Ariel, Kiryas Chana David. Woe is to Ariel, the city of dwelling of David. Al Manas Yavu Aryeh, and why was that? In order so that you should have the lion come, B'Mazal Aryeh, in the astrological time of the lion, V'yivne Ariel Chulu, and to build the Ariel, the Beis HaMikdash canal, like we said before. And these two are juxtaposed. B'tikuni Zohar Tikun Ayin Daf Kuf Lamed Beis Aleph the Adam der Biyadi Ukad Melon Chala Kedumim Rachiv Ba'aryeh Chulu, that it says the supernal man of Bria, which is Adam Kadmon of all the first of all the men, the first of all the first, meaning, so that concept rides on a lion. So it says that in Nebuchadnezzar rode on a lion, and the other side you have here Adam Kadmon, the first man. The concept of the high levels, so to speak, rides on a lion. I guess it's also an idea of the Merkava law, of the Pnei Aryeh, Shabbat Merkava or something. But here we have, this seems to be an even higher concept of the lion of Adam Kadmon. We're saying it's a concept of Keser. So the lion is an even higher idea. Ubekes Kisei Melech Sham, in the Perish of Rab Shalom Buzigalo in the Tikun Zohar and Kisei Melech there, Perish Adam de Bria Keser Rachiv Ba'aryeh Keser Chulu, the idea of Adam Bria, that's the crown that rides on the line of kindness, that Aryeh, like we said before, is Gematria Shudvav of the Shem of Chesed. So that's Adam B'Briya is Keser, that rides on Chesed. So at any rate, this that it says that the lion should come, until the lion comes, that's a revelation of Keser. And that's why the statement of I am Hashem your Elokah is called the lion roaring. So that's El Kadosh Baruch Hu is called the lion, and he's coming. That's a revelation of Keser. So that's Anochi Havai Elokecha is a revelation of Keser, of the essence of revelation of Hashem's being, so to speak. By the giving of the Torah corresponds with this lion, this high concept of Keser. Now, even though it's Av of Chesed, like we explained, but Reshut Vav is Gematria Gvura. So it's also strictness. And this that it's called strength is that we find that strength is the ability that's within Arich Anpin. In Keser of Arich, Kamayim Razaladish Perek Dalid, Ezu Gibura Kovesh Yisro, like the statement of our sages in the 4th Perek. Kamayim Razalish Perek Dalid, near the Tzarchlis, Kamayim Razal Avos Rish Perek Dalid. So the Rebbe says on the bottom that this is talking about, it should say Avos. It's referring to Pirkei Avos. So Ezehu Gibura Kovesh Yisro, that who's the strong one, the one who conquers his inclination. So that's the Gvura of Aryeh, as opposed to the chesed that we were discussing before. And there it brings the verse that greater is the merciful one than a strong one. So it connects the idea of Erech HaPayim to Gvura, like it's brought in another place concerning the idea of the Shofet Shimshon, the strong man, that his strength was dependent on his Nazirus, with his hairs growing, which is the idea of keser, the crown, nezer elokav. There's a minor makom from the Rebbe. On the bottom, and the razor will not come up onto his head, but it's mores from Vahainu Lefisha, and it's also a language of fear. And that is because the Nazirus draws from Arich, like it says, Tov Erech HaPayim Megibor, so it's the Erech HaPayim is greater than overcomes the Gvura. But we can speak from there that you also have the idea of that all your enemies will be cut off. Keser Osios Kares, that the crown is the language of to cut off. Lahachris Zaro Shel Amalek, to cut off the seed of Amalek. So perhaps the idea of Shimshon HaGibor being able to conquer all those enemies and cut them off is also from this level of the Keser of Kares. But at any rate, when in reference to Amalek, I'm not sure why Amalek is shy here. Because at any rate, in order to get rid of Amalek, I guess Reishi's Goyim Amalek. It has a certain concept of Kesed of Klippa in Amalek. That from there, in order from Keser is the wonder, Shamkwa Chapela, that there's the miracle above nature, Kmoshkazu Bezor Bashalach, Daf Nundal Ramadalaf al Pasukaz Yashir, Vain Mashakaz Mizebir al Pasuk Zos, Chukas Sator Peregdal Yain Sham. So I guess the Chikika is from this level of Pella as well, and by the splitting of the sea, it was revealed as Pella. And in another place is explained, and the Rebbe says on the bottom, where's this? Shilchein Eved Habedolach Gavna Sumchois Chazi Bey, that therefore the Bedolach stone, the crystal, you have the red color seen in it. Perhaps it's like a sapphire. Misham nimshach tala de bedulcha, and from there you have the dew of the crystal dew. So you have the idea of the gvuros that is the source of the tal, like the Ainu Inyan Gvura da Atik Hamalubish B'mochas Timachal, when that's the Kabbalistic idea of the Gvura, the strength of Atik that's included in the hidden wisdom. To bring out the Hashpa from Keser. And that's the idea of my beloved is clear and red, meaning my beloved, meaning the revelation of Keser, the love from above, like Tzachos, but it's red, meaning the Gvura of Atik. Vinyan Arya Parivasa Mizdavin, and the idea of the lion and lioness uniting. That's like the idea that's brought, that the mountains will fall to Bris Shlomi Lo Samud, but my covenant of peace will not fall to Ham Shachem Yisod Arichan Bin Shalamayla Meseder Aishtal Shlus Chulu. That's the flow from Yisod of Arich that's higher than the order of creation. Chulu Ein Sham, look over there. That's the Bris, the Yisod of Shlomi, of Shalom. That's the coming from Arich. A covenant of Yisod of Arich. So if you don't have the Chagas, but you can still have the flow from Keser, that's the lines of Keser. The Mshach of Yisod is like the lion uniting with the lioness. And look what's brought about the idea, I will be engaged to you forever. That any place it says for me, it doesn't, it never goes away. meaning that it's hamshacha of union from Kesef. V'inyan sheyesh b'knesses Yisrael b'chines ariyasa, and this idea that you have in the souls of Israel, the idea of the lioness, is like it says that you will crouch down and rest like a lion or like a lioness. To give up your life in Kriya Shema, like we said before, is the idea of the lion roaring. That's the concept of the crown in the soul that's beyond wisdom. Look, it's brought in Veschanan, the idea of Shema, and when you say one, and that you love Hashem and so forth. Find Mashaka's opinion. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai Shamar Ein Yodea Be'ezeh Derech Hulu. That Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said, I don't know which way I'm going to go. And so the Rebbe says on the bottom, Binyan Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, L'kuti Torah B'osafos, B'sof Sefer Vayikran Amud Dalet. Because he was so humble, he found a place to doubt the concept of the crown in the soul, if it shined properly and so forth, because it's a hidden level and it's not revealed. The concept of Mesiras Nefesh. Find Master calls B'Likutei Torah b'Shir Hashirim b'Dibira Pasuk Ani Yishein V'Li Bi'er. Look what's brought Likutei Torah and Shir Hashirim concerning the idea of I am sleeping but my heart is awake. B'Inyan V'Ani Eftach Lecha Kepischo Shel Ulam, concerning the idea of I will open for you like the entrance to the Ulam.